Here, listen.
In the morning, we were discussing the murder of Irina Zaruska in Charlotte, North Carolina, and how to stop these kinds of attacks by homeless, mentally ill assailants, including institutionalizing or jailing such people so they cannot attack again. Now, during that discussion, I wrongly said they should get lethal injections. I apologize for that extremely callous remark. I'm obviously aware that not all mentally ill homeless people act as the perpetrator did in North Carolina, and that so many homeless people deserve our empathy and compassion.
Aren't you the same folks who say that empathy is a sin and empathy is one of our greatest weaknesses? I mean, Charlie Kirk said that. He said he didn't like empathy. Thought empathy was a detriment. Also, just like fuck off. You said what you meant. You think that homeless people should get lethal injections. Brian Kilmeade, I know you're a piece of shit, but you think that constitutional rights don't apply to homeless Americans? If a homeless person commits a crime, they are entitled to due process. I know that the Trump regime is trying to obliterate due process in this country. I also know that they were doing their damnedest in Washington, D.C. to round up homeless people. I understand that all over this country, we dehumanize homeless Americans because they make us face the reality of what late-stage capitalism is doing to us. We don't like having to look at the evidence of what our country does to veterans, what our economy, what the outlook, the mindset of this culture does to so many people. We also don't like having to come face to face with another American who is in a position that we could very easily find ourselves in if we had one financial crisis, or if you're, better off, if you're upper middle class American, two financial crises. We are all on the cusp of being homeless in this country, but we prefer to think that we're temporarily embarrassed millionaires or billionaires, and that we are, 3 steps away from being Elon Musk. You are a hair's breadth away from being that homeless person you are currently looking down your nose at. We don't like to have to face that. It makes us very, very uncomfortable. And so it's much easier for us to want to dehumanize homeless people and their mental health struggles and their substance use struggles and their poverty, because they are living, breathing evidence of what this country does, what capitalism does to other human beings, what the military industrial complex does, what the cost is of our military, what the cost is of how we treat queer youth, of the way that people in poverty are at much higher risk to being trafficked, to trafficking their own family members. We don't have to be faced with all of that shit. It's much easier to just dehumanize homeless people. And people on the right do it to people on the left do it too, but people on the right do it to such a huge extent that Brian Kilmeade can get on the air and say that all homeless people should get lethal injections and then just be like, just kill them. And nobody fucking bats an eye. He has to make one half-assed apology and he can move right along with his career. No consequences for him whatsoever.